You've ever given everything to someone who barely noticed? Ever stood in a crowded room, surrounded by people who claimed to care and still felt completely alone? Let me tell you something. Your silence, the day you choose to walk away, will echo louder than all the words you ever spoke. They'll never forget it, and they'll never replace you. There's a unique kind of pain in being unseen, in loving someone so deeply, so selflessly, and realizing that your love was never truly valued, and yet you stayed. Because you believed, you hoped. But let me tell you this. There comes a moment when staying isn't love, it's self-betrayal. And when you finally walk away, they'll feel it, they'll regret it, and you'll be free. You gave them everything, not just your time, your energy, your love, but pieces of yourself that you can never get back. You stayed awake through their storms, wiped their tears when no one else could see them cry, and cheered them on when no one else believed in them. You held them together even as you were falling apart. But what did you get in return? Apathy, silence, indifference. They took and took until there was almost nothing left of you, and when you needed them, when the weight of your own struggles became too much to bear, where were they? Did they ask how you were? Did they stop to notice the cracks in your heart, the ones you hid so well because you didn't want to burden them? You gave them your all, and they gave you scraps. And the worst part? They didn't even realize it. They looked at everything you did, everything you gave, and thought this is just who they are, as if your love was a duty, not a choice, as if your presence in their life was a guarantee, not a gift. But let's be honest. You didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve to feel invisible in the eyes of someone you made your entire world. And yet, you stayed. Because that's who you are. Because when you love fully, deeply, unconditionally. But unconditional love doesn't mean accepting disrespect, and it doesn't mean staying where you're not valued. Let me tell you something they'll never admit. They thought you'd never leave. They thought your love was infinite. That no matter how little they gave, no matter how much they ignored you, you'd always be there. They saw your patience, your kindness, your loyalty, and they mistook it for weakness. But here's the truth they'll learn too late. Nothing in this world is permanent. Now, since they fought and won, not even you, there will come a day when they'll wake up and realize that you're no longer there. They'll reach for you in the ways they never did before, desperate for the comfort they once took for granted, and all they'll find is silence. You see, your love was a rare kind. It wasn't loud or demanding. It didn't shout for attention or come with ultimatums. It was quiet, steady, unshakable, a light in the darkness they never appreciated until it was gone. And when that light disappears, when you finally walk away, they'll feel it. They'll feel it like a void in their chest, a heaviness they can't escape. They'll search for someone like you, someone who loves without limits, someone who stays through the worst of storms. But let me tell you something. People like you don't come around twice. You are not replaceable. And the moment they realize, that will be the moment regret becomes their shadow. It will follow them everywhere they go, a constant reminder of what they had and lost. There comes a moment when enough is enough, when the weight of their indifference becomes too heavy to carry. For you, that moment wasn't easy. It wasn't dramatic or explosive. It was quiet. A realization that hit you like a wave one day, standing in front of the mirror, looking at someone you barely recognized. You realized you were pouring your love into a black hole, giving and giving to someone who didn't value what they had. You saw the emptiness in their eyes, the way they barely noticed your efforts, and it broke something inside you. That was your breaking point. And though it hurt, though it felt like tearing out a piece of your own soul, you chose to walk away. Not because you stopped caring, but because you finally started caring about yourself. Choosing yourself wasn't selfish. It was necessary. Walking away wasn't giving up, it was rising up. It was the moment you said, I deserve better. And you do. You deserve the kind of love that doesn't have to be begged for, the kind of respect that doesn't come with conditions. And now they sit in the silence you left behind. It's deafening, isn't it? The absence of your voice, your laughter, your presence. While it echoes louder than anything they've ever heard, they replay moments in their head, wondering when things started to fall apart. But the truth is, it didn't fall apart. It was never whole to begin with. They'll look at the people around them, hoping to find even a glimpse of what you gave them, but they won't. Because what you brought to their life was unique. It was rare. And now, it's gone. They'll wake up at 3 a.m. haunted by the thought of you. They'll wonder if you're happier without them, if someone else is lucky enough to have your love now. And that thought, it'll eat them alive. Because deep down, they'll know they had something special, and they let it slip through their fingers. They'll regret every moment they made you feel invisible, every time they chose convenience over commitment, and every second they took you for granted. But here's the best part of the story. It doesn't end with their regret, it ends with your freedom. The moment you chose to walk away was the moment you chose yourself. And that choice, that was the beginning of your new life. You are not defined by their inability to see your worth. You are not the person they made you feel like, small, invisible, unimportant. No, you are so much more than that. You are strong, resilient, and worthy of a love that doesn't need to be earned through suffering. Now you've started to rebuild. Slowly but surely, you've surrounded yourself with people who lift you up, who see your value, who celebrate your presence. Every day, do something that makes you feel live and vital instead of taking it for granted. You've learned to find joy in your own company, to stand tall without needing anyone else to hold you up. And as you grow, as you thrive, they'll watch from a distance. They'll see the light in your eyes, the smile on your face, and they'll know. It's a light they'll never see up close again. You've moved on, and they're stuck with nothing but memories. So let them regret. Let them feel the weight of your silence, the emptiness of your absence. But don't you dare look back, because you're not the person you were when they had you. You've grown. You've healed. You've become someone who knows their worth, someone who won't settle for anything less than what they deserve. Remember this: their regret is not your burden. Their loss is not your responsibility. You've given enough. You tried enough, and now it's time to live for yourself. They'll never forget your silence, and they'll never replace you. But you'll move forward, stronger, happier, and freer than ever before. Because the absence of toxic people is not a loss, a gain.